Okay, if you've ever started seeds inside, you know that amazing feeling when you see those little green shoots pop up. But you probably also know the absolute heartbreak of finding them collapsed and dead the very next day. Well, today, we're going on a mission. We're going to defeat the #1 enemy of young plants. This right here, this is a real plea from a gardener over on Reddit. And wow, does it get to the heart of the frustration that so many of us feel? It seems like a simple question, but the answer has a few moving parts. And that's exactly what we're going to solve together in this explainer. And here it is, the scene of the crime. One day, you've got this promising little plant looking great, and the next, it's just keeled over, right at the soil line, totally lifeless. Look, this probably isn't your fault. You've just met the silent killer of the garden world. Yeah, this silent killer actually has a name, damping off. It's the official term for this seedling tragedy, and it's about time we unmask the culprit behind it all. So what exactly is it? Well, damping off is a disease caused by a whole bunch of different fungi that live in the soil. They absolutely love cool, damp conditions, and they attack seedlings when they're at their weakest, right where the tender stem meets the soil. Meet the usual suspects. Now, you don't need to memorize these fancy names. Just know that we're dealing with a whole gang of fungi. They're super common in most soils, and they can literally wipe out an entire tray of seedlings before you've even finished your morning coffee. But here's the good news. There is a clear path to victory. Our whole mission here is to create an environment where our seedlings can build a strong, healthy root system as fast as possible. Once they do that, they're tough enough to fend off these nasty pathogens. So how do we do that? Well, it all starts before you even think about planting a single seed. We need to build a fortress, basically. A clean, sterile environment where our seedlings can get a major head start. First things first, sterilize all your gear. Those pots and trays from last year, they can be perfect hiding spots for fungal spores. A simple soak is all it takes to wipe the slate clean. You gotta make sure you're not introducing the enemy from day one. And here's the key, getting the ratio right. You don't need a ton of bleach. A simple 10% solution, that's just 1 part regular household bleach to 9 parts water, is all you need. Let it soak for 30 minutes and you're golden. Okay, next up is your soil. And listen, this part is non-negotiable. Garden soil is amazing, it's full of life, including the very fungi we're trying to avoid. So always start with a fresh bag of sterile seed starting mix. Reusing old potting soil from last year is just asking for trouble. Let's talk about soil additives for a sec. You see bags of vermiculite and perlite all the time, and knowing the difference is a game changer. Vermiculite is like a sponge. It holds onto moisture and nutrients, which is fantastic for starting seeds. Perlite, on the other hand, is all about aeration and drainage. Great for succulents, but for our mission, vermiculite is the real star player. All right, our fortress is built, the foundation is clean. Now it's time to master the environment, because the conditions you create after you plant are just as critical as all the prep work. And this brings us right back to that gardener's original question. Overwatering is, without a doubt, the #1 cause of damping off. Those fungi just love soggy soil. So here's the trick. Water from the bottom. This encourages the roots to go down deep, and it keeps the soil surface where that stem is super vulnerable just a little bit drier. Oh, and let things dry out a bit between waterings. Now, this is one of my favorite tips of all time. A small, gentle fan does 2 amazing things. First, that constant air movement helps the soil surface dry out, making it a terrible place for fungus to grow. Second, that little breeze actually mimics the wind, telling the seedlings, hey, you gotta get tougher, and they respond by growing stronger, stockier stems. It's like a tiny gym for your plants. You know those clear plastic humidity domes? They're great for getting seeds to germinate. They trap all that moisture, but the second they've done their job, they become a liability. That superhuman environment is a paradise for fungus. So as soon as about half your seeds have popped up, get that dome off and let the air flow. Strong plants are resistant plants. And to get strong, seedlings need a ton of light, way more than you think. A sunny windowsill is almost never enough. You really want to aim for 12 to 16 hours of good, direct light from a grow light every single day. Temperature matters too. Heat mats are awesome for getting seeds to sprout, but once they're up, many plants, especially cool weather crops like broccoli or lettuce, actually prefer it a bit cooler. Too much heat can make them grow all weak and spindly. So if your room is warm enough, go ahead and unplug that heat mat after they've germinated. Now, it feels like you should be feeding your little baby plants, but hold on. The seed itself contains all the energy the plant needs to get started. Fertilizing too early can actually burn their delicate new roots. You want to wait until you see the first set of true leaves. Those are the ones that look like the actual adult plant's leaves. And then you can start with a very weak, half-strength fertilizer. So we've defeated the seedling killer. Mission accomplished, right? Well, not quite. We don't want our plants to just survive. We want them to thrive. So let's quickly look at a few other common issues so you can become a true seedling whisperer. I mean, just look at this picture. It says it all, right? The seedlings on the left are what we call leggy. They're tall, thin, and pale because they're desperately stretching for light. But the ones on the right, they're compact, they're strong, they're a beautiful, healthy green. That's the power of having a good light source. Think of this slide as your handy little field guide. If your seedlings are leaning over, they're screaming at you for more light. See a green film on the soil? That's algae. And it's a dead giveaway that things are too moist. And those weird little bumps on the leaves? That's called edema, usually from inconsistent watering. You see a pattern here? The solution for most of these issues is better airflow and letting the soil dry out more. And there you have it, the complete battle plan. You know the enemy, you know how to build your defenses, and you know how to master the environment. So what comes next? This is the goal. A tray that's absolutely full of strong, healthy, vibrant seedlings that have made it past that super vulnerable stage. This is what happens when you apply these simple but absolutely crucial techniques. These little guys are ready to take on the world, or at least your garden. You are now officially equipped with everything you need to know to give your seeds the best possible start in life. The frustration of damping off, that can be a thing of the past. So the only real question left is, what amazing things are you going to grow this year?